This is going to be a continuation of my other video, Intro to Context Managers, opening a text file and writing to a text file. So if you haven't seen that, you probably want to watch that first. Um, so essentially, I have some data from a text file from a chat room, and I'm just parsing it currently. So essentially, what you're doing, I'm just going to my Jupyter notebook. So I created a video the other day. So essentially, I'm just opening the text file and I'm just reading this text file, which is a chat room, trader chat room, Discord, whatever you want to call it. I'm just reading it into my Jupyter notebook here. I'm splitting the file. I'm pulling out the trader's name, the timestamp, and the stock, or the conversation whatever he was talking about at the time. So I have to clean that up, and once I do, I rewrite that out to a file like this. So as you can see now, it's just going to be the trader's name, timestamp, and whatever their text message is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to import that text message with a context manager, and I'm just going to follow like this same scenario to load this up to my Jupyter notebook. So I'm going to save this in content, and the code for that. So this is now uh, you gotta be careful to uh, pull out this W, because this is write to a file, so just keep that in mind. This is actually automatically there. It's already in mode read, but I had it in write, so I actually erased the file, so I have to rerun the file. Now, the file is saved in this content. Uh, or not. Now it is. So, anyways, yeah, Python's a little funny sometimes. I guess all programming languages are. So, this is the mode it's going to be in. There's like 4 or 5 different modes. It's read, write, read bytes, which is RB, and a couple other. You can read the documentation on a context manager. So in the old days, before context managers, you used to just like open, and then if you didn't like close the file, it would leave the file open, so that was a major problem. So the invention of this automatically opens it and closes it, so it's kind of cool. So it's easier than using like a open and close command. Anyways, so the content is um, um, where the saved text file is located in Jupyter Notebook. So what you want to do is just split um, n, which is /n is a new line. So as you can see, you'll see a trader's name, new line, today at new line, new line. So all I'm doing is just splitting that, okay? So if I want to get this in a data frame, remember you got to just remember pip install pandas if you don't have it already installed. So you can do that in your CMD, or you can actually install it here as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put this in a data frame. So I first want to import pandas as PD. This is just a naming convention. Um, and then I'm gonna create a data frame to put this data in, but I don't think it's gonna Let me just try to do this. Probably not going to work though. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, so it does come out. Okay. So this is one way to do it, right? You got uh, one column and 886 rows, right? But if you actually, a really cool trick that I learned is you can actually reshape this, right? Um, which this is actually a list. So I should actually split this out. It'll help people. So this is actually a list. And you can actually see that it's a list by printing. Actually, I don't even need to use a print statement in Jupyter Notebook, which is kind of cool. So you can see it's a list. And then without the data frame, it looks like this. So you can't, if you put a list in a data frame, it's just going to end up in that like one row, as you can see. Like it's going to be one long row, right? And that's kind of like, it's okay, but it would be better if you could actually, have, each trader's name in each column, each timestamp in one column, and then like whatever their text is saying, right? So we know after I parse this that uh, a new line could be every three, right? What I'm trying to say is this. If I went to my list, right? I shouldn't probably use this naming convention, but whatever. Um, if I go like this, it's going to be the first three lines, right? So that's kind of cool. If I did six, it'll be the first six lines, right? So that's kind of indexing on a list. That's really, really helpful, right? However, if I wanted to place this kind of like I wanted to transpose this list, the first three lines, into one row, what I would do is I'm going to import a package called NumPy, and we're going to call that. It's NumPy is a built-in, so you don't have to worry about it. Well, actually, yeah, you have to install it. So pip install NumPy if it's not on your like pip list, right? So um, if you go like pip list and you don't see NumPy there, which if you have pandas, you have NumPy because like uh, pandas is built on NumPy. NumPy is like NumPy array, right? So this is an array, right? I think. I don't know. Might have to Google that. But anyways, so you want to import NumPy as NP. That's the convention. And NP is a very helpful package. It's very useful, right? So it has a lot of methods and functions in there. And you can go through the documentation on NumPy. It's pretty cool. So in this instance, I'm going to use a reshape function, right? Method. So if I look in the parameters, I'm going to take the list, which is going to be the data, right? And then I'm going to reshape it. And then here I give my shape, right? So the list, I want the uh, starting from the first to the end, right? -1 is all the way to the end, right? And every three, I'm going to make a new row, right? Okay. So if you look at this, should NP. I don't never usually do this. let's just do the first 15. Okay. So you have one line, another line, another line, another line, all right, etc. Right? So if you want to put this in a data frame now, do something like that, right? Okay. Now, why this is so helpful, right? This is a DF, right? I can now sort things, right? Um, I actually sort values by, let's do this. Okay. So this is why this is cool, right? So as you can see here, I place a list. I'm just placing the first 15, right? Because apparently when I was doing this, uh, if you divide 3 by 886, somewhere there's an extra line in there, right? So keep in mind, if the columns, right, if 886 divided by 3 doesn't come out to a um, a non-float, like, a real number with no decimal, right? This is not going to work, right? Because it has to be equal size, right? So you just have to find how long the row is, and so it's actually 8 882. So if I do 882, right? And this is just dividing each row by 3, so it's always got to be 3. So if it's 883, it's not you're not going to be able to get 3 rows in each 3 columns in each row. So what that's going to do is you're going to get an error constantly, right? As you can see, now I have 294 rows, which they're just breaking it out by 3, right? See, if I put 883 in here, when I'm reshaping this, I'm going to get an error. So it's got to be the right dimensions. That's the correct word, actually. Okay. So now that this is in a data frame, I could sort this, and I can convert these dates over as well, which I'll probably do in another video. So I just wanted to show this, how useful this NumPy reshape method is, and how it reshapes a list, and you could put that list into a data frame as long as the list is of the correct dimension, right? So once you got this, I mean, like, you can add like additional, like, let's say I wanted to add columns on. I could go like this. I think it's columns. Column names. You're just going to go like this, and you make a list out of this. So the first one's trader name. Second one is timestamp, right? Third one is message, right? Oh, so I'm going to sort by that now since I renamed it. So you got to come over here. And as you can see, now I have column names, right? And yeah, so that's pretty much how you take a list and place it into a data frame, and then also using the NumPy reshape method, which is, I use this constantly. I think this has been one of the most helpful packages, function, methods, whatever you want to call it, in coding. Every day I use this. This is just standard for me. So I just wanted to put that out there. I think this will be very helpful to anybody that running into like data manipulation or anything like that. But if you like my video, like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know any additional videos you want to see. I can definitely post them. Thanks.